Hey guys. All right. So, sorry about that. I want to try to get the info out there to people that were live. I just posted it on my Facebook on here. I don't know if anybody's going to join us, but we'll see. Uh okay. So, face first. Farm and homestead. Sorry guys, I'm trying to just post real quick that we're live.
Did you roll the windows up in the car?
No, I did not. I forgot.
I'll go ahead and do it.
Post this to public. Facebook Farm and Homestead is live right now. Please come join us as we discuss what is going on in this world. So, I know there's no one in the house right now. This was kind of a up and out of the blue, mainly because of the fact that I want to start doing my lives again. Pardon my tank top. I literally just got out of the tub pretty much because I redid my hair. Yes, I'm still using hair color, but I really can't stand the gray in my hair. I just don't like the way it looks. I'm actually going to check and see if there's anything such as more natural hair colors. Um, I've never been great in that camera mirror thing. Um, yeah, pardon my tank top. Yeah, I want to start doing lives again. Right now it's going to be on Sunday this week and next week. I don't think I'll be on for a long time tonight. I just wanted to kind of discuss a little bit of what's going on and what it means for us as homesteaders and preppers. Um that's a loaded statement. There's a lot that we could be facing. Uh, okay. One of the things I'm gonna be doing, I'm probably gonna pull up like some of the other videos that some of the other channels that I really keep tabs on to, give you guys some extra information. These guys, this particular channel, the guy's name is Brad, and the channel that he has, it's called Full Spectrum Survival, and he he pulls a bunch of different things that are going on from different reliable news sources. I might pull up one of those. Him and his wife also have a homestead, and they have another channel called Off Grid with Brad and Kelly. Now they just put out another video that I have not watched or listened to or anything. So we're gonna pull this up and see what they say.
Sophie, where are you? Sophie, we were going to make a video about how important cats are as an asset on your farm, which I still want to make that video.
Absolutely. Still true.
Yeah, it's still true, but
It's hard to
we
show
had
another
kittens
video
for the
like
last, 5 weeks.
Yeah, they're 4 weeks old, like to this date.
And we have 2 mamas.
Yep.
That have 2 different litters.
Yep.
And one of the mamas is
you
missing.
gotta lean over here.
Now this is pretty strange to us because she has never left the property, and even though they're outside,
Can't really see it
they
on
get
the
fed here. So don't try to like get out and do stuff.
with the
They roam a
little
little, but it's usually in a very small area. You know, we see them walking around and stuff like that.
So it's a little gray cat. This
I'm
is
also working on my weight loss
The
again.
white paws.
Slowly
This is one of
starting
the
tonight, and
males
then
from the
going
other
into
litter.
tomorrow and so forth.
It helps us find. So the kittens, if we don't find them, what do we have to do?
Well, they're only 4 weeks old, which isn't super young, but they're not old enough to be weaned. So we'll need some sort of milk replacement, possibly bottle feeding them if they can't actually lap up the milk.
You know, it's kind of hard to see it.
Make sure they're warm. And I don't know if they can go to the bathroom on their own yet.
What do you have to do?
You have to stimulate it with like a warm washcloth or something
Like
like
just
that.
rubbing their parts?
You rub their tummy and their parts, and it usually will stimulate. Now they're 4 weeks old, which is it's good because they're old enough that we have seen them starting to eat food
Drink milk.
and drink milk.
Oat milk, because they can't have
Don't feed them
cow milk.
cow milk. But
Yeah, cats can't
yeah,
have cow's
they're
milk.
not quite ready to just feed
Cats cannot have dairy. Their
on their own yet.
digestive systems, they can't digest it.
This is a well that we just dug recently. This is going to be for an animal area. When we bought this land, this old shed was on it with all this garbage that we're trying to clean up. You can see.
They're
Sounds a lot like us.
Yeah.
Lots of beer bottles. The hunters that were here were having a lot of fun.
They were.
Um,
This has been a progress. This is a project. We have a ton of tires, pallets. These were all just left here, so we're trying
So I wish we had a bunch of
kind of
pallets
clean
to
up
choose
and
from.
Give us the
find a
phone.
use for them. But right
They live
now,
in Alabama.
Oh, well, it would be clean hard.
This is day 2. If we don't find her now, it becomes our responsibility.
yeah,
And that's pretty scary to me because we have enough other stuff going on. Plus, watching what's else going on in the world.
yeah, it's a big burden to take on. Which we have animals, so you accept the responsibility of it. But at the same time, it's one we weren't exactly prepared for. We have another mama who still is nursing her babies, but she hasn't accepted the other babies as hers. She kind of, she'll bat at them, hiss at them, stay away from them. So my hope of that she would kind of foster them hasn't worked yet. So we're still looking for mama, and I guess we're going to start making some milk.
Yeah, with preparations, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We still have to make it because it's been long enough now that, they're so tiny. They were tiny to begin with. Yeah. Because she's a small cat and she had 5 babies. So we have to make sure they don't get dehydrated, and they're staying warm. They're actually cuddling with the other kittens. So that's good.
We have 2 people in the house.
Cool.
It's not
Awesome.
wintertime yet.
Awesome,
It's warm
awesome.
enough that we don't
Hey
have to have
guys, go ahead and say hi. I don't even know what all we're going to be discussing tonight, so this is going to be an interesting one.
It's another
So,
well house on the property, guys. If you are going off grid, water is going to be your biggest concern.
Yeah.
water is still our biggest concern.
Our own uses, washing dishes.
I'm going to have to probably just start getting some rainwater barrels.
No, and a lot of times you don't even realize how much water you use.
Right.
And especially with animals and, just
And taking a bath Grid down, taking a bath is going to be
So,
basically non-existent. And we're down to 1. Bye, guys.
So weird. It's just not like her.
no, that's true.
And especially now with babies, she's usually always
Hi, Mandy.
with her babies, except for the little bit of times, she'll go hunt and come back, but that's always within 3 hours. I don't think I've ever
Grid
seen her
down.
with my phone.
Sophie.
Now we do have
some
a
self-defense capabilities with them.
shower bag. And it's not one of the ones that hangs up. It's like a bucket with a pump that goes inside it.
Cameras up.
But the pump takes batteries. So,
We are all
you
right.
know,
Our scent is there, and so we've never seen dogs or.
just kind of wanted to introduce you guys to these guys.
She's a sissy cat. Like she's a good hunter.
This is one of the couples that I really enjoy watching and listening to. Flies and fruit flies. I actually have bananas I was going to make banana bread out of, and I totally forgot.
I want to put my scent out so that dogs and coyotes, we have a lot of coyotes here, all those things know that this is not just free and open area with the smell of baby chicks and cats.
Yeah, it's not a buffet for them.
Right. So I take every opportunity I can. If I'm outside doing work, whatever, I'm just going to go outside and do my business. And then so far in our life, I've done that, and predators don't come nearby.
Yeah, we have never had any issues with coyotes, wild, loose dogs or anything like that. We've never had an issue. We never.
There
see
are
them on the
coyotes
property.
around.
We have
I
no
know there
cameras
are.
that.
Not
I
on
see
the
'em.
property.
Okay, well, I'm not going to sit there and just like play these videos. Yeah, I'm not going to go through and like play a bunch of videos. I kind of wanted to introduce you guys to that channel. Again, that's Off Grid with Brad and Kelly. I'm going to finish watching that one later. Now the channel Full Spectrum Survival that he does that I found a while ago, and I say a while ago, I mean years ago. And his channel was actually one of the first prepper channels on YouTube.
We have so much
So
happening across
I'll
the
let you
country.
guys hear a little bit of this.
Lockdowns, the enforcement of immigration,
And
the
he gets
fights
all
against
his information
enforcement
from
officials. We
different
have them
reliable
take out
sources
the
and kind of pulls
Department
it
of Homeland
together
Security
and,
director. We have them
let
working
us know,
hard
to let everybody
create
know
every
that's
enforcement of law
subscribed to
judicial
his channel
system
know what's going
across
on.
our
So
country. Let's go ahead and dive right deep into some video showing this so that we understand what's happening around the world for our own education, and we know the direction of things as they are playing out. Now, if this is going on
this is like a
in your
10-minute
city,
video. I'm not going to play the whole thing.
please do not get out there. Don't be in the middle of immigration enforcement.
There's like
and these
riots
protests.
going on.
If you're
There's
involved,
literally the
real
National
great
Guard in
answers.
New
Let them
York
know that
and Chicago,
Seattle.
is going to
Seattle,
be
Washington,
at these locations.
possibly Portland, Oregon. Things are getting, and I know I've talked about this stuff before.
Playing out like an urban unrest video game of the early 2000s. We needed this, but unfortunately it came to the point where we needed this. And instead of us being able to get control of this country by normal operating procedures with the rule of law and law enforcement, like what you saw in this morning's broadcast, we had mayors that said they cared less about what happened to your family. They didn't want to put career criminals in jail. They wanted to instead find out what made them like that, ask them about their previous trauma, and not necessarily get them in prison for violently hurting you and your family. And that's what brought us to this point right here. So don't get me wrong for a moment. We need this in our country. But, and here's the caveat, once you get this machine rolling, once this snowball starts going down the hillside, no one can stop it. And so I don't think it's going to be Trump that brings the trouble. I don't think it's going to be J.D. Vance. I think it's going to be whoever's next that turns this beast onto everybody else. So we do have to watch it closely for that.
Okay,
All right,
now
let's see.
it
This
shows
is
zero.
the
But
DHS secretary. Let's listen to what she has.
it's okay because people can catch it later.
The NFL.
You know,
What is your message to Bad Bunny?
I'm
Will there
kind of
be
doing
ice
this like for the
formats?
channel, but
Well,
for
maybe because the
subscribers as
Homeland
well.
Security is responsible for keeping it safe. So I have the responsibility for making sure everybody goes to the Super Bowl, has the opportunity to enjoy it and to leave, and that's what America is about. So yeah, we'll be all over that place. And I can't. We're going to enforce the law. So I think people should not be coming to the Super Bowl unless they're a law-abiding American.
We're gonna forward that.
They keep bringing them in. Policies need to be stopped and reconsidered. Those who come with economic motives but claim to be migrants, these people need to be sent home. People who overstay illegally,
As you can see,
they
you
will
know,
be
this
strictly
is
required to obey the law and ultimately be deported. The Minnesota Public Utilities
he has a lot of really helpful information.
and a posse comitatus coming very soon. We're going to have a new understanding of what it means to be in a civil war very soon. They're calling for attacks against National Guard, attacks against
I'll
law
let you
enforcement.
hear
You're watching
like
firsthand
his
here
end
at Survival, where I doom
of
scroll,
his
so you don't have to.
channel.
Share this video with other people, please. Hype this video and subscribe to this channel. This is the original Prepper News channel. From my family to yours, we'll check you back in the morning unless something big pops off. Until then, please stay safe.
Yeah, he's. Oh shoot! I was gonna do. Okay, I don't know if I was looking for the hype thing he was talking about. I don't know if he has it on here unless it's. I don't see it. It might just be. I was gonna help him out. Okay. Yeah, it's there's so many different things that are going on, just the unrest, the just where to start? Yeah. There's a lot of unrest, there's a lot of arguing, there's a lot of fighting, there's a lot of, and I know people will blame Trump or, whoever. You know what? He has his role to play. That's how I look at it. Excuse me, we had beans tonight for dinner, so I apologize for that. He has his role to play. This is all gonna play out the way it's supposed to, okay? The biggest thing that I can tell you that's gonna be the biggest issue is when other countries decide to jump in on us, on America. Our country's going to face some really hard times. And if you're not prepared for that, there's going to be a lot of issues. And, that's one of the things that this channel, that I've tried to make this channel about, is getting prepared for that. I haven't put out a lot of videos lately, and I apologize for that. I've been getting used to a 40-hour schedule. Yes, I needed it. We needed the money. Still have 40-hour week this week. I don't know how long it's going to last, because it's Bridges and Leslie. But, I don't know. We'll see. Mandy, I see. I think that's you, like, popping on and off. It's probably your internet connection or something. But the informational videos, like, I'm trying to get information out there for you guys, to get you guys into research and learning this stuff. So when we are plunged into darkness and there's no electricity, there's no phones, there's no internet, there's nothing works, you'll have a knowledge base. Now, if it's not on paper, get your books, get some filler paper, or type it out. Type out the information. There's Pinterest. And I've been showing you guys how much information is on Pinterest. Okay? There's a world of information on Pinterest. I have 90, it's 91. Let's see. Probably can't find it. Sorry, I always try to save things that catch my eye. And I'm going to be stocking up on my soap supplies soon. Source plans. Seven cooking. All right, sorry guys. Yeah, I have. What the heck? Oh, geez. I have 91 sections on my homesteading board. Okay. I have pins on Amish living, because the Amish have a lot of great ideas, a lot of great home hacks, a lot of great just, they know how to do this, and they know how to do it without electricity. They know how to do it off grid. They know how to do it the old-fashioned ways. So, and Homestead alcohol, which is making your own, like, wines and hard ciders and that kind of thing, which I'm probably gonna have to learn how to do for in the grid down situation. So I have the basis for my medicinal tinctures. So, and then there's animal starts and babies, which is like gentle baby soap bar recipes and just some other things. Homestead barns, and that's on like building barns and barn renovation and that kind of thing. Beekeeping, homestead beginnings, different books. recommended homesteading books, breakfast recipes, building, like different things that you can build on your homestead, butchering, cabin builds, candle making, canning, chickens, Christmas, bunch of recipes, candy recipes, craft recipes for, or like craft things for Christmas, kind of thing. Cleaning, homestead cleaning, homestead cleaners, homemade cleaners, that kind of thing. Composting, cooking, cows, uh, crafts, crocheting, which I've gotten into. Again, my grandma taught me how to crochet. And part of it is for business, yes. Okay, I'll show you. This is one of the things I'm crocheting. And it's going to be a blanket. But the good thing is, even if it's on the farm stand, grids go down, we'll have access to that stuff for our family. So, and for barter items and that kind of thing. Dehydration, like dehydrating different herbs, fruits, veggies, foods, yeah. Dessert recipes, homestead desserts. Dogs for farm dogs. Now, I do have one pin on donkeys because there are a lot of homesteads that they do have donkeys, and they're supposed to be good guard animals. Drinks, like homemade drink recipes. Ducks, which we still have to get our ducks. Homestead expenses. I've only got 2 pins in that one. Fences. Building your own fences, that kind of thing. Homestead ferments, which I need to get into that, but I need the salt and that kind of thing. Food forest, which is my plan for like that, the backyard, like literally food forest. Food preservation, foraging, fruit bushes, fruit trees, gardening. I have a lot of pins in that. Geese, homestead gifts, on making, homemade gifts. Homestead goats, and we are planning on getting dairy goats. And me and Scott are going to have to get out there and start cleaning out the old chicken coop since we have the new one built. Which, kudos to Aaron. Aaron helped a lot with helping me to get the new coop built. So that was pretty cool. Guinea fowl. And I'm still planning on getting guineas because they're also very good guard birds for your homestead. Harvesting, homestead health, herbal medicines. Now that's a big one. Heat, different ways to heat without electricity. Horses, which we're not going to have because we just don't have the room. We don't have the pasture space is the problem. Homestead kids, which is, like raising your kids on a homestead, that kind of thing. Kitchens, different off-grid appliances and that kind of thing for a off-grid homestead. Homestead laundry, like making your own laundry, soap and fabric softeners, that kind of thing. Homestead layouts, like setting up different layouts for your home, different layout ideas for your homestead. Lotions, homemade lotions, which are going to be a whole lot healthier for you than store-bought. Homestead management. And I even have one on men for like homemade things for men, like soaps and different things like that. I haven't started making any of it yet because I'm still working on getting my soap supplies. Homestead money, and that's like different things that you can do to make money off your homestead. Homestead natural beauty, and that's like different natural beauty products and that kind of thing. Handmade bath products, that kind of thing. Outdoor kitchens. Peacocks, which I'm not going to have. I mean, I don't to see the need. Homestead Pets. Now that one I actually have in there for like homemade dog food, cat food, that kind of thing. And yes, you can do that. I have one on pheasants because some homesteads do have pheasants. So Homestead Pigs. Now I was planning on having feeder pigs, but I'm not sure. Like I think that would be kind of a big cost for us. So I'm still I'm not sure on that one. Prepping. Protecting your home, booby traps. Really? That's Can that cover be flipped around so they're not like flipping it and ending up inside that thing? Okay. Quail. We are still planning on getting quail. And quail are great meat birds. And you can sell the eggs, you can eat the eggs, you can sell the babies, you can sell the quail, so they're great for business. Homestead rabbits. Again, selling the babies. And yes, they can be used for meat. Recipes, it's just like different recipes, homemade things. Root cellars. Whoops. How to build like a homemade a root cellar on your homestead. Now we have our basement and we still have to get down there and clean it out. Homestead scrubs and lip balms, much healthier than store-bought. Seed saving, how to save seeds, which I should probably go through some of those. Sewing, which I've started that, and you guys should know that already. I have the quilt that I'm working on. Oh, the one that I was working on for us is still in Oklahoma, unfortunately. Homestead sheep. We're not going to have any, even though we did have at one point when I was growing up. But I don't really want to add them to our homestead. Homestead skills, and that's like pioneer skills, primitive skills, that kind of thing. Smokehouses, how to build a smokehouse, that kind of thing. Soap making, big, huge one. Solar, write down on how to build your own solar panels, battery banks, that kind of thing. Homestead storage, like how to store different foods from your garden. Homestead survival, how to survive without electricity off grid. That's one of the ones that's in there. Homestead syrups, like different types of syrup that you can get from tree sap. Tanning, like how to tan a rabbit hide, that kind of thing. I don't have many in there. Thanksgiving, that's like different recipes and stuff for Thanksgiving. Toilets, different off-grid toilet systems. Tools, off-grid tools. Tropicals. The only one I have in that one is cinnamon trees, which I probably won't get. I'll just stock up on cinnamon and cinnamon sticks. Excuse me. Again, we had beans earlier. Turkeys. Now we are planning on getting turkeys again. They're great guard birds. They're obviously good for meat. So, water systems, how to find water in the wild, how to, just several different ways that you can get water without electricity, which is a big one. And that's a big one for us. And I'm probably going to have to start getting the rainwater barrels. May even have some stuff on weight loss, that kind of thing in there. Winters, and that's like winter survival tips, especially grid down. Wood cook stove, how to cook on a wood cook stove. And that's it. Okay. So, anyway, but my point with that is that Pinterest, Pinterest alone is a huge, huge place for information. Huge. YouTube is another one. I have so many homesteading channels on my YouTube. Like I pull up my YouTube, I pulled it up on my TV upstairs. Because we took over the bedroom upstairs. I didn't feel safe out in the trailer. Number one, there are still people that come onto this property. Why? I don't know. I don't like it. And I'm going to install some type of security measures. I don't like that. Just recently, someone lit, and it might sound kind of funny, but to us, it's not. Somebody came onto our property and literally picked our plum tree clean. They stole all of our plums. I know it wasn't animals. I checked for all those telltale signs and, I know what to look for. There was none of that. And that tree has been picked clean. And those plums were doing amazing. They were starting to ripen up really nice. And we were all looking, really looking forward to fresh plums. And now we aren't going to get them because they were stolen. So, not cool and not happy about that. So, I have an idea of the group of people that it might have been. Again, I'm going to start installing some security measures. So, anyway, because but yeah, we're not staying out in the trailer because I didn't feel safe. There was one night when we were out there, I heard these weird animal noises, and I know what coyotes sound like because there've been coyotes around. Not on the property as far as I know, but close enough. I know what they sound like. This was weird. Like weird. And they sounded big, they sounded close. And we were in the trailer, we were trying to go to sleep, and I'm just like, there's really nothing between us and whatever's out there. Or, if it was people out there that were trying to do harm or whatever, there's nothing between us and them. So we moved upstairs into the bedroom upstairs. So, and I know it's kind of late, guys. Well, not really. It's 9:28. Mandy, I don't know what time it is where you are. It should be Eastern Standard Time, so it should still be around 9:30. Hopefully I'll still get we'll still get some extra people in the house. I just really feel like tonight's really important because there's so many things going on. And I wanted to touch base with you guys on more than just. That's what I thought. I thought you were on Eastern Standard. I really wanted to touch base with everybody with more than just, like putting out in the video and then waiting all day for it to upload because our internet's being stupid lately. But yeah, so we moved to the bedroom upstairs. And we brought in our mattress from the trailer and put it upstairs because that bed sucks. And yeah, we've been bringing Cinnamon upstairs because we didn't want her getting pregnant. So, yeah. And as soon as she feels like she can afford it, Chloe's gonna take Cinnamon. But yeah, so we moved upstairs. I didn't feel safe in that trailer, and I figured, at least in the house upstairs, there's a lot more in between us and outside at night. So, and I've actually started locking the door. And I'm going to be talking to Aaron about changing the lock and seeing what we have to do to change the inner core of it. So we're the only ones with the key. Anyway. Yeah, there's just so much going on. Personally, I kind of feel like we're running out of time, and we're having to pretty much pick up and start from scratch. We only have the one fruit tree that we got anything out of this year. I mean, I did buy the 2 cherry trees, but we're probably not going to get anything out of those for at least 2 years. So, because they're 2-year-old trees. And I'm hoping I can get to Family Farm and get at least a couple Brayburn apple trees and a couple more Honeycrisp apple trees. And then I'm going to work on getting some mosquito netting to protect them all from the stupid Japanese beetles, because them dumb things not destroyed it, but literally ate the leaves on it, and we didn't get any apples off from the Honeycrisp apple tree this year. I got one last year.
They ate the ones on the cherry trees too.
Yeah, they did go after the leaves on the cherry tree. Now, they did start to green back up somewhat. The cherry trees, I started regrowing some of the leaves and that kind of thing. So it didn't destroy the trees. It's just the leaves and what was left turned brown because they were kind of like skeleton leaves, So the only one we got anything off from was the peach tree, which was really awesome because the peaches were really good. As far as I know, this was the first year we got peaches off from it. I got 7 quarts of peaches and 16 half pints of peach jam. I gave Chloe a quart of the peaches, and I gave her one of the jars of jam. So it was actually one of the ones that I would have had to have reprocessed because it didn't seal when I actually first did them. So I just gave her that one, but we still got 16 half pints. So we did all right. We did good with the peaches. Now I'm gonna try to see where I can get some apples and pears from an orchard, or hopefully around here somewhere. I don't know about nectarines. Cherries were done a few months ago. So, I don't know. We didn't get enough strawberries to do jam or anything like that out of. So yeah. And I wasn't able to get any grapevines. I wasn't able to get our blueberry bushes or anything like that this year. Oh, I did get one, but it didn't do anything because it was one of those little stupid little box things. So I'm gonna have to spend more money and get, the bigger blueberry bush in the buckets. So, yeah. But I mean, that's not even until next spring, because right now the only thing that Family Farm and Home has is the apple trees. So hopefully I can get at least 4 more, 2 Brayburn and 2 Honeycrisp. I'm hoping. That'll be, definite food once we start getting the fruit off from it. Now, I do have my strawberries. I have to separate my strawberry plants. I never did that. The runners took over. They happened to my other beds. I've got to fix that. I'm going to have to put them in a bigger bed. Sorry, because the way that I have them, it's not, they don't have enough space, so. But I will get that fixed. And we're still getting beans and peas and cherry tomatoes out of the garden. There was a lady.
Eggplant.
An eggplant. Hand me that one right there.
All right.
There was a lady that comes into Rich's. She's a regular customer. I haven't even done anything with this yet.
Good catch.
There's one of the eggplants. And it's been sitting for a couple days, but there's one of the eggplants that we got off from our eggplant. And that's the third one. I gave Chloe one. We had another one. So that's the first one that we've gotten off from our plant that we had. And I bought that plant from Family Farm and Home. So I still have tomatoes growing in the trailer. I need to get our greenhouse. It's either that or I'm going to have to turn the trailer into a greenhouse, which I'm seriously considering doing. If I have to, money-wise, I will. The problem is I have to buy the metal roofing panels for the roof. And by the time I get done paying for those, I might as well just buy the greenhouse. So, because I'm going to have to get at least 20 of those to start with.
6 dozen one, have those on the other.
And that's $150. And by the time, like actually putting that in the cart on Amazon and ordering it, it's going to be about $200. So, I mean, and then you consider the time that it's going to take to fix the roof and everything on the trailer and the floor and all that. I might as well just spend the money on the greenhouse because I need the greenhouse anyway. But because we do need that space, for being able to start seeds and that kind of thing. So, but, this is all in preparation of being able to feed our family when we can't go to the grocery store. Now, there are certain things I need to stock up on, like baking soda. I'll name off these 3, and I'll tell you why. Baking soda, arrowroot powder, and in like 5-pound bags at a time, and cream of tartar. Those 3 ingredients, you make your own baking powder. I've done it. It works. It works great. 5-pound bags of turmeric. That stuff is immensely healthy. I actually would like to get some ginger, 5-pound bags of ground ginger. I want to get some fresh ginger that I can plant and put in our greenhouse along with the turmeric. Coffee trees. That sounds crazy, but hey, it's kind of a luxury that I like. You can make your own non-dairy creamers. And add your own flavor. You can make your own vanilla extract with vanilla beans. And see, I want to stock up on those. And then you need your alcohol to make the vanilla extract. And then your bottles and that kind of thing. So we have a lot that we need to stock up on. The flowers. Sorry. Ear felt funny from when I was in the job. I want to start getting some einkorn flour, which is an ancient flour grain flour. That's been totally not messed with. I think wait, why would
No, that wasn't him.
So that couldn't be Aaron. He's not even out of work yet. But yeah, einkorn flour is a very healthy flour. It's like totally, it's not unprocessed. It doesn't have any of your chemicals or anything like that in it. So but yeah, I want to stock up on that, but I'm gonna have to, have the airtight containers and stuff to put it in. because with flowers, if you don't have a way to completely seal those, you're gonna end up with like little bugs and stuff in them. You don't want that, obviously. Now there are things you can gather that you can forage and turn into flour. One of the things is acorns, believe it or not, which we have a lot, and we're going to be doing that. I just have to have a way to crush it. I don't even have like the mortar and pestle. I mean, I could probably use the blender. But I also need a way to do it without electricity. So I've got to have a way to crush it. Would like to be able to get a hold of a grain mill and stock up on non-GMO heirloom wheat berries and keep them in an airtight sealed container, Mylar bags or whatever. I know you can do that and use oxygen absorbers to take the air and stuff out of them. And then all you got to do is take out what you need and put it in your grain mill and just grind what you need and make your bread for the day or for the week or whatever. So, that's something I'm looking to try to get a hold of. But like there's all of this stuff, that we still need. We have the wood stove. I'm still working on getting Aaron to get the chimney dealt with so we can use the wood stove. So that's a thing. And if he doesn't soon.
He doesn't work tomorrow, does he?
Yeah, I think he does. He doesn't always have Monday off. Remember, his schedule bounces around a lot more than mine does right now. Yeah. He needs to get up there and get it done. Or I'm going to have to call somebody. So, because we got to get the chimney cleaned out and get it to where we can use a wood stove. I'm probably going to end up having to use a propane heater and a propane tank for the greenhouse for now, because I don't have a way. I mean, I suppose if I had the greenhouse right now, I could build the bed or even like spend the $80 and get a couple of beds and use the chicken bedding for the hot beds. But this would be the first time that I've used it, and I don't really want to. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. Again, we had beans for dinner. I don't really want plants growing and then have the compost bedding not work as well. Like, I need to be able to use it and figure out, what I'm doing with it, basically. So, like I said, there's a lot we need to stock up on, along with fabrics and yarn and the yarn, like you can make so many things with yarn, even with just crocheting. Blankets and dish rags and pot holders. I mean, those are some of the main things. There's a lot more. Scarves, I need to get a crochet pattern thing and learn how to do some of the other things with it, because you can crochet a whole bunch of different things. I mean, the biggest thing is like blankets and scarves and pot holders, that kind of thing. Trying to think. But yeah, I'm tired. Still. Not as tired as I was. Oh. And yeah, and then fabric, obviously, and like, you can cut your own patterns with clothing that you have that fits you and make more clothing that way. Sorry guys, my hair was kind of bugging me. And quilts, and there's a whole bunch of things I can do with fabric. And like business wise now, like for extra money for the homestead, I can do a lot of different things for the farm stand. And then homemade soaps, obviously, and I need my supplies. I need a whole bunch of soap supplies, and I'm really not happy about the fact that we ended up having to throw out all the soap supplies that I had which I really should have looked at, like the soap colorants and the just a couple of other things. I think I had some other essential oils. I don't know. But we just kind of threw them all away. But I need to get a whole bunch more of those because they were thrown away because there was a bunch of black mold in them. Which, I mean, I get it. Like, that was definitely a needed thing, was to, throw that out, but I'm left with having to replace all that stuff. But you don't want black mold in your soap. That's just gross and very unhealthy. You don't want to use a soap that's going to make you sick. And then, the bases and stuff to make your liquid soaps and your facial cleansers and that kind of thing. So, should be that. But all of this is in preparation for what's coming. To be able to survive, to have your water, to have your food, to be able to grow and raise your own food. And we have our chickens right now. We're starting to get eggs.
Here we go.
And it's more than just money. You know what I mean? It's more than just selling them, or, it's more than just farm stand. It's more than just, it's literally, gardening to grow your own food, raising chickens to have eggs, for your family, for food for your family. It's, having the necessary things to be able to make your different drinks. You can make your own kombuchas. You can make your own, even old 1800s style drinks. Like Haymaker's Punch. You can make what they call a ginger bog with fresh ginger and actually make your own homemade sodas at home. And use raw, unfiltered honey to give it a little sweetness if you want. Healthy, in a healthy way, instead of your disgusting sugared pops with the nasty high fructose corn syrup in it. And I've been struggling to try to give up quit drinking the diet pop. And that's got aspartame in it, and that's just as bad. And I know that, and I'm really struggling to try to get myself healthy, weight and that kind of thing. And it's a thing. It's been a thing. It's been hard, but I am working at it. And then stocking up on yeast. And you can make your own yeast. You can make your own yeast from potatoes. And there's a couple of other things that you can use to make your own yeast with. I haven't done it. There's also sourdough starter, which I might do that again. I've got to get a sealed jar that I can use for that. And that's going to be a base for breads, that kind of thing. But, a homemade sourdough starter is really good for, like, homemade sourdough bread and sourdough pancakes and that kind of thing. But I'm also trying to get away from, like, a lot of grains and stuff like that. And for, like, dairy, your dairy from the store is really unhealthy. It's so ultra processed that anything beneficial from it was literally destroyed in the processing. So, in the words of Off Grid with Doug and Stacy, in the words of Doug from Off Grid with Doug and Stacy, straight from the tit is best. Cow's milk. Now, we don't have the room to have a dairy cow, and I really don't want to have to deal with worrying about maneuvering a cow. I've thought about a miniature dairy cow, but I really need to look into, like the pasture they need, that kind of thing. We are going to do dairy goats because you can get a half gallon to a gallon of milk from dairy goats per day. And that would be plenty for us. You can still make your cheese. You can still make your yogurts. You can still make your butter. That kind of thing. So, and, you still have your whey from your yogurt and your kefir, that kind of thing. And you can use that in ferments as well. And that's the other thing, the salt. And it's another one of the things to stock up on is the Redmond's real salt. Why the Redmond's real salt? Because it's unprocessed. It has not been stripped of its minerals and its nutrients. It's mined straight from the salt mines in Utah. And has all the healthy stuff in it that your body needs, the minerals and that kind of thing. I use it. I use the Redmond's real salt. I even gave some to Chloe. She has a little salt shaker that I put some in. I'm probably going to get her a bag of it. Let me see. And you can buy that in 25-pound bags. It's like $115, but it's worth it. Plus, you want your canning salts, so you can do your ferments for one. You also want the canning salt is what they use for ferments. So, plus you want vinegar. And then that's another thing that, we have to stock up on. I need to get more apples and more jars to be able to do more apple cider vinegar on my own. I never did pull that out of the cupboard. And I have to get up fairly early tomorrow to do that. But, vinegar. And then we do have some lemon trees growing, which is something I will put in the greenhouse. I think I'm going to repot those real soon. hopefully we can get some lemon trees actually producing some lemons. I did have several growing in Oklahoma. I haven't talked to Andrew in a while. I don't know. So. And yeah, you also want your white vinegar to do, different things with your flowered herbs in the spring, like with your clovers, your white clover, your red clover. You can do a pine vinegar. You want your little needles, like the white pine. And they have to be real pine. But those are also medicinal. And white vinegar is also great for laundry. And, for us, I'm going to be stocking up on a bunch of Fells Naphtha bars and a bunch of the OxyClean and a bunch of the Arm & Hammer Super Washing Soda. And buckets. Probably 5-gallon buckets, to be honest. And then just making a bunch of it. I mean, a 5-gallon bucket, in all honesty, would probably last almost 5 years. So if I did a couple of those, or even if I ended up doing like about 5 of those, we'd have enough, like a lot enough. I know that wasn't a good combination of words, but we definitely had more than enough. So, I'm trying to make sure that our family is going to be prepared, and like the dairy goats and it's having issues with the connection. Our dairy goats will be able to get, like I said, our milk and our cheese and the dairy stuff from there. You can make your own flavored yogurts from, like, with the homemade yogurt. All you got to do is add your fruit. And we have black raspberries growing on the property. We'll have our strawberries, and I'm going to be getting more strawberry plants. I've just got to make the area bigger. Give them a bigger bed and a bigger area to grow. Black raspberries, blackberries, that kind of thing. So, and I'm going to try to get blueberries. We didn't even get out to Klingers to pick blueberries this year. And we have peaches. And we can make peach yogurt.
Ooh.
So. And with honey is something I will have to stock up on. Because I don't see us getting the bees. I just don't. It's a money investment, and that's just not something I can afford. So I'm gonna have to stock up on the honey, and I have to stock up on a lot of it, because there's a lot of things that medicinally you need the honey for. One of those things is the garlic, the fermented garlic with the honey. Very medicinal, very antibacterial, very antiviral, very, just for everything. And along with the elderberry as well. And I didn't get much of that this year. So I'm going to have to be buying like the elderberry syrup kits and the dried elderberry and the spices and the honey to go with that. And so, yeah. And I'm still stocking up on jars. Like every time I see jars at the store, like I've literally been buying them single jars at a time. Now, right now, at Dollar General, they're $2 a piece instead of $1 a piece. Ew, there's a spider down there. Really? Not okay. Sorry, there's a spider. Ew. Give me the fly swatter. I think it's on the porch floor. Ew.
Hey, Colin.
That's just gross. I'm moving that. I'm afraid that if I hit it, it's not gonna. Yeah, that's just disgusting. Sorry, there's a spider under the table. I don't do spiders. We know this. Anyway, what was I saying? I forgot what I was saying. I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, I'm trying to stock up on the jars. I just bought a couple more today. I'm gonna buy some more this week. They have the little quarter pint jars that are literally that big, and but I'm gonna be getting more of those. Those are great for dried herbs. I'm gonna be getting a bunch more of those. So as many as I can possibly get. But anyway, there's just a lot of prep and that kind of thing that we got to do. There's things that you could buy. You can start your own like survival totes, which I would highly recommend seeds for your survival totes, even if you have to container garden. And there's enough information out there. There is absolutely enough information out there. One channel I will recommend, if you're going to do container gardening, go to the channel. It's called the Gardening Channel with James Prigioni. He's freaking amazing. He has, I dare say he's mastered container gardening. I suck at it. I don't do good with container gardening right now. But again, even if you have to container garden, you can still garden. You can still grow your food. And you can do like a lot of vertical gardening on like up on pallets or homemade trellises or fence or stuff like that. Or the deck outside on your porch or balcony or something. There's always a way. So, but yeah, check out his channel. It's the Gardening Channel with James Prigioni. Obviously, Off Grid with Doug and Stacy. They have a ton of information. They've been off grid for 17 years. They have a lot of very, 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 very helpful information. Another one that I've been watching, it's called The Crazy Farm Wife. It's a very cool, family farm channel. They're not off grid, but they do raise and grow most of their own food. So, and the other thing you want to consider, especially for grid down, is being able to grow your food for your animals. And see, that's one thing I need to figure out here is where to put those plots to grow the chicken garden and the garden for the goats. Now, with the goats, you can put them like out in the field or whatever, but I got to get fencing for that. And I'm already going to have to get cattle panel for the outside of the perimeter of the old chicken coop area to put them in, which, we're going to do that. And the cattle panel that I'm going to get for that, it's only 4 foot high. It shouldn't have to be any more than that because it's not going to be the only thing holding them in. Now, if you're going to use just cattle panel to hold in goats, you're going to want 5 foot high. And I would highly recommend, on top of that, at least some kind of electric fencing. I don't think we're going to need it. I don't know. I'm considering solar electric fencing. I don't know. Anyway, but I want to be able to grow the food for the goats and the chickens, the ducks, the turkeys, the guineas once we get all them. And I need to look into, actually how to be able to have that, hens to be able to hatch out their own eggs. We don't have any roosters right now, so that's not going to happen right now, obviously. but I'm going to be looking into getting some roosters, which I'm kind of leery on that because the last one that we had turned mean after there was the attack from the coons. No, we haven't had any problems so far, and I'm probably going to have to enclose that coop anyway because they can stand, these hens be like in the middle of the chicken yard and literally take flight and fly up and over the fence. So, probably going to enclose it. I do want to expand the yard, but I'm going to have to buy some more fence posts. I need more fencing. The leftover fencing that's out there, I'm going to use for a pen for Nebula. So, I do have to get the post for that. I might. I might just get the post for it. It's only $25. Anyway, but yeah. But you definitely want to consider, the space to be able to grow your food for your animals. Because grid stored by them. Or, we get into the supply chain and might not be able to find the feed for your animals. So, and growing it is going to be a lot healthier for them anyway. You're not going to have those extra things in there that might not be healthy for them, And you want your animals as healthy as possible. I'm going to be looking into like the all natural medicines for the goats and that kind of thing. Because I don't want to get into using synthetic chemicals for them. Because it's no healthier for them than it is for us to take prescription drugs. So, anyway. So I'm going to have to like really think on the homestead plot and that kind of thing for garden plots for food for the animals. Oh yeah, and rabbits and quail. We're definitely going to be doing rabbits and quail. I don't know really where to get them from. I mean, rabbits aren't going to be that hard to get. The quail, I'm not sure yet. I'm going to have to ask around. But I'm also going to have to figure out where to put the, because Aaron wants to put his car in the garage. So, I gotta figure out where to put their pens.
Can't even move it right now. Thinks the battery's dead.
He knows the battery is dead. And with like rabbits, you can get away with making it to where their pens are kind of like on the ground, where they have like there's fence at the bottom, and you just kind of like move, kind of like a chicken tractor kind of thing. But you check out the Crazy Farm Wife channel because they have rabbits and that's what they do. And they'll move their pens like every other day or whatever. Their rabbit pens. Oh, they do feed them like the alfalfa hay. And they have cows, and like we're not gonna do cows for sure. Again, I've thought about a mini dairy cow, but I just don't know. Because I don't know how much pasture they need. And we also need the room to be able to grow the feed for the animals, so just have to wait and see. Now, as far as the Amish cabin for us goes, I think we're going to end up with the money that we would have spent into the homestead. Because to me, it just makes more sense.